Oh, and hello everyone. I can see everyone coming in here, filtering in nicely. Feel free to say hi in the chat and let me know where you're from. In case you didn't know us, we are from well, near Brighton. We're all in different areas near Brighton. It's been sunny in the UK for the last 3 days. I think that was our summer, and it's gone now. Um, so I'll do a few introductions as everyone's joining. My name's Laura. I'm head of customer success here at CoverageBook, and we've got David here, who is head of support. And manning the chat, we also have Will, who also works on support. So, oh, hi, Veronica from Dubai. Amazing. Probably a lot warmer where you are than where it is here. Um, so today we will be talking about how you can brand up your reports, how you can add logos to different places, how you can use your brand colors, and the different formats you can use that might be different relevant for your brands in different ways. And then at the end, we can show you then how to save those preferences so you can get it all perfect. And afterwards, you can just use the same format again and again very quickly. As always, I will keep this to half an hour because I know you guys are super busy, and we'll pack a lot in. But don't worry about taking notes. I will send a recording of this webinar to everyone who's attended, and so you can just catch up if you need to. Yeah, and if you've got any questions as you go along, feel free to add them in the chat, and we'll answer as many as he can as we go through. I think that's it for the housekeeping. I feel like I've missed something, but I'm sure David will tell me if I haven't. So I'm going to hand over to David now, who's going to talk you through the demo part of the tool. Over to you, David.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today. Yeah, as Laura mentioned, we're going to be looking at all things branding, colors, templates, and some really good layouts and formats that you can use. We are going to look at 4 different aspects of CoverageBook. So we're going to start with the front cover. Then we're going to look at some branding options. Then we're going to move on to how you can personalize the layout of your CoverageBook report. And finally, we'll finish with how you can make templates to save you a bunch of time later on. So let me just share my screen so you can all see my CoverageBook account. Okay, so if you have joined any of our webinars before, you'll recognize these reports. We tend to use the same demo reports over and over again. For this particular one, we are going to look at a report that I created around a sporting event for women's football. And I'm just going to click into that report now. So the first thing to mention actually is that when you first open a report, the book overview page, which is the first menu option on the top left of the navigation bar, this is a really useful view because it shows you at a glance all of the elements of your report in one page. So as we start to develop and format this report a little bit, you'll be able to see all of the changes that we've made. It's a really, really good page. There's lots that you can do here. So I would spend some time just having a look around all of the settings, etc. But first of all, we are going to start by looking at how you can customize the front cover of your report. And for this particular one, I have uploaded 125 pieces of coverage across 3 different sections. And I'm going to click into the front cover to start with. Now, there are lots of customization options along the top, but you can also click into the title or you can click on the image of the front cover to also open up all of the editing options for you. And the first thing we're going to look at are the 3 different layouts that you can choose for our front cover montage. So if you're new to CoverageBook, as you start to import your coverage into your report, we will take a randomized selection of your coverage images and we will put them together in this front cover montage that you see here. So at the moment, this is just a random selection of coverage images from the 125 pieces that I've added to the report, but you can customize those and we'll go through that in a moment. So the first option is choose a cover layout. So there are 3 main options that you have available. The stacked option that you see here, which is the title at the top, images at the bottom. There's also a really nice side-by-side template as well. Obviously text on the left, images on the right, so that's quite a nice one. And we also have a kind of really stylized dark view mode. So this is quite a nice view if you prefer to use like a low key but quite contrasty and impactive front cover image. And finally, if you happen to be a really a long-term customer with us, you may have used our original version of CoverageBook from circa a few years ago and before. In which case you might want to switch to our legacy layout. So this is the original OG CoverageBook montage layout that we used to have all that time ago. So if you have clients that prefer to use the original format that they're always used to, you can still switch to use our legacy layout. But for this one, I'm going to switch to side by side because that's the one I quite like. Now, I mentioned that we pull through a randomized montage of images. You can actually customize this. So if you go across to the cover image option here and click on the montage, you will see that there is a drop down and you have various options available. So for example, I can leave it as a random selection, or I could choose the first items in my book, the most recently published items, or the most recently added. And you can also choose from items in a section. So this is a really good feature. If, for example, like this report, I have created it around a specific event and I've uploaded some specific coverage just for that event in its own section, you can actually switch to just using those coverage images in your front cover. So that really helps you to customize and tailor the report directly to your audience based on what the report is about. Or the other really good thing is that you can choose to use highlights as your coverage images. And that's what I'm going to do now. So what this will do is it will pick out any pieces of coverage that you have pinpointed as being highlights in your report. I'll show you how to do that a little bit later on. It's a really good way of customizing the front cover montage just to show kind of like your standout pieces of coverage within that kind of montage there. Now, whilst we're also on this page, you can also change the background color of the front cover to any color that you like. So if you click on the background color option, click into the little modal here, and it will open up a color picker where you can drag and drop around, or you can choose from some of our default color options. Now, if you happen to know your client's brand color reference as well, you can actually just copy and paste that directly into this field at the bottom. And when I click on update, it will change it to this red color, for example. But I'm actually going to change this to my client's other color, which is blue. Let's just do that now. Go. So yeah, so you can change to match an exact color, which is a really good feature as well. So we're going to move away from the front cover just for the moment. I'm going to go back to the overview page. And what I want to do now is talk about how you can brand your report using logos and accent colors. So you'll notice at the top of the overview tab, there's the banner logo. If you click into this, it will allow you to upload a separate logo that's specific to your organization. So I would suggest using this as your agency logo or as your as your company logo. When you add this to the report, what it means is when you preview the report and share it with anyone, your logo will always stay present in the viewable banner as they scroll through the report. So it's a really nice way of branding reports with your own logo. And the second option that you have available is if you dive back into the front cover, you can go to the logo and text option here, and you can actually upload a separate logo for your client's report as well. So I'll just do that quickly now. Here we go. At this point as well, you can also edit the title of the report, and you can add some supporting text. You can add, a couple of sentences about the report if you prefer as well. Great. So now I've been able to brand my report with both an organization logo for my own agency and also my client's logo specifically for the front cover as well. Now, the next thing that you can do is you can use our accent color option. And this is a really, it's a really subtle minimalist change, but it can add a nice branding highlight to your report. So at the moment, you will see that in the front cover, I've got the accent color set to black. So you'll see a small black line here and some black accents and highlights around the front cover image. You'll also see on the metrics summary page as well that we have sort of black accents above all of the logos. And also, if you preview the report, you'll see that the contents menu is also in this black color. If you wanted to, you can switch that to your client's color. So I'm actually going to choose the red color that I used before for the front cover. And if I click into this area here, I can again open up the color picker modal. And then from here, I can just copy and paste that color code in and click on update. And as I say, it's just a really, really subtle change that you'll see some red accents now that match my client's color. And you'll also see those appear in things like all of the menus and the metric summary page. So it's a really nice way of just adding, some low-key highlights to your report. Now, let's move on to how you can personalize the layout of your CoverageBook report. So we've already spent some time working on the accent colors and adding logos, etc. Actually, there is one more thing to mention before we move on, and that is, sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier. In the front cover, if you would prefer to use your own high resolution campaign image, you can also do that. Just click anywhere within the front cover. And then you can open up the cover visual menu. And then from here, if you click on custom image, you can have the option to upload your own front cover image. So you don't have to use our montage if you don't want to. You can include anything that you like as an image. And there are two different options available. So the first option is a kind of a CoverageBook styled fit. So you'll have like a rounded edges to the image when you upload it, or you can just use an edge-to-edge rectangular image format. So do have a play around with those as well if you would like to use your own front cover images instead of the montage that we provide. Now, what we're going to look at next is how you can personalize the layout of your report. And the first thing we're going to look at are sections. So I mentioned at the start of this report that I'd added 125 pieces of coverage, and I have chosen to set up 3 different sections for this. So there's events coverage, which is specific to the particular sporting event I'm reporting on, but I've also got some supporting coverage that's online and social. Now, if you think about sections as being like chapters in a book, you can add as many of those as you like to organize your coverage for your clients. We probably mostly see coverage type as being a really popular one. So print, social, online, radio coverage, etc., broken up into different sections. But you could also do this by a location or by a region. Perhaps if you have a number of different businesses around the globe, you could have each of your sections set up for perhaps a hotel or whatever. So lots of different options that you can use. You could even set up a monthly rolling report for your clients, which has sections for January, February, March, April, May, etc. There are 2 main ways that you can add sections. The first is when you're importing coverage. Let me just grab some links. Here we go. So as soon as you start pasting in some links and you click on next, you'll see that in the import workflow, you'll have the option to choose from an existing section if you've already got some, or you can click on add new to create a new section as you're adding coverage. So that's super quick and easy to build up your sections that way. And the other option you have is if you scroll down on the left-hand navigation menu to the sections option, you can actually just add a blank section to your reports. So if you prefer to create all of your sections first and then add coverage to them later on, you can do that. It's nice and easy. The sections themselves, you can drag and drop these to move them around. And we've also added some helpful move to top and bottom buttons recently. Let me just switch back. And you can also choose to add coverage and slides directly from inside the section modal now, which is a really nice feature. So you can import coverage without having to go into each section of coverage directly. Now, you can also choose to present your coverage in 3 different ways inside a section. And we have a full page view, a grid view, and a list view. And this can be super helpful when you're presenting reports to others, because you've got 3 different options that you can choose. So the first is full page. The second option, if I go to my online coverage, is I'm going to switch this out to a grid view when I share this report with others. And then finally, we'll have our social coverage shown as a list view. Now, what this does is if I share the report now, what you will see as you scroll through and get to the coverage sections is that if I click into the first section, you'll see 1 piece of coverage per page as you're scrolling through. So this is a really nice view if you wanted to really present the coverage pieces in full page. Or the grid view will be a more condensed view. So basically it will just show a really nice grid. Each of your readers can click into any of these images to open up the coverage in full. This is a really nice view if you do have lots and lots of coverage and you want to just keep it to a more condensed view. And then finally, if your clients prefer a more data-led view and aren't particularly focused on seeing the full coverage images, or you have thousands of clips in a book, you might want to switch to using a list view, which shows you this really nice condensed view. So you'll just have a little thumbnail on the left and then all of the metrics and dates on the right. And again, with any of these, you can click into the post to open them up in full and view those. Now, just to mention, before we actually leave sections, as you import coverage into a section, we will import the links in the same list order that you provide. So if you do have a tracking spreadsheet or something where you have like a list of links, if they're in the right order for you, just copy and paste them and we will import them to the book in that same order. But you can also click on the coverage sorting option here. And what this will do is it will give you a list of different sorting options available. So you can sort A to Z by title or publication, by newest or oldest added or published article, and by highest or lowest metrics. And if you check the automatically maintain this order checkbox, we will remember that sorting preference for when you add coverage in the future. So it should save you a bunch of time. Now, going back to the overview page, let's have a look at the 3 default pages that we have at the intro and summary area here. So the first one is the front cover, which we've already formatted and got looking nice. The next page along is the metrics summary. So this is a collection of all of the summarized metrics across all of the sections of coverage in your report. And there are lots of different things that you can do here. So you can drag and drop the cards around to reorganize them however you like. So if your client wants to prioritize views above other metrics, you can drag those to the top to show as the 2 largest cards. And then you can really tailor this however you like. If you click on the choose metrics option in the top left, you can click on the tick above any of these cards and it will add or remove them from your summary. So you have full flexibility to show as many or as few metrics as you want. And just briefly as well, if you click on the add custom cards option, this will allow you to add in your own customized summary cards. So perhaps you wanted to report on the number of newsletter subscribers or something like that. You can create a card and add it to the summary to include your own data as well. Now, the next page along is highlights, and I touched on this briefly when we were looking at the front cover montage. So as you are importing coverage to your book, you will see that next to each of the clips, there is a gold star icon. And if you click on that star, it will add your clip to the highlights reel. Now, what's really good about this is if you do happen to have a report with lots and lots of coverage in it, it will mean that the key pieces that you want to showcase to your readers show front and center when you share the report with them. So again, if I click on Preview Book, you'll see the front cover, the metrics summary, and then it will dive straight into the highlights section. So you can basically pick as many highlights as you like. They will show front and center, so you can always be guaranteed that your readers are more likely to see the standout pieces in your report when you do share it with them. Now, in addition to all of the customization options you can do, you can pretty much drag and drop any of these things around. So you can move the sections. You can also drag and drop the front cover pages and any other content that you add, so you can customize the order in which they show. And if you would like to hide any of our default pages, you can just click on the three dots below and to the right, and you can remove any of these from showing. So perhaps you might want to remove the metric summary page if your report is just going to be focusing on the coverage imagery or visuals. You can remove the highlights page from showing if you want. You can even hide sections from showing as well. So for example, here, if I hide these three sections of coverage, when I share the report, it will make a really nice condensed highlights only version. So you'll get the front cover, all of the metrics for all of the clips, but we will only present the highlights to your readers. So this is a really nice way of just creating a quick 2 to 3 page report that you can share. Let me just switch those back on. Now, the final thing to mention is also that you can add lots more context and insights to your report using custom pages and slides. And hopefully a lot of you will have already used this feature. So you can add a custom page or slide to anywhere within the introductory and summary pages. And you can also add custom slides to the beginning of any section of coverage. So you can either go into the section itself and click on Add Slides and Analysis here, or from the overview page, you can actually click on the link in each of the sections to add slides as well. You can create slides directly inside CoverageBook using our builder. It's really simple to use. Just click on Create a Slide. There are 6 different layouts that you can choose from. If you wanted to include some images and text, you can do that. And then all you need to do is just add some text. So I've got a brief weekly campaign overview text that I want to include for my clients. So I can just copy and paste that in. I'll just do that now quickly. There we go. And then what I can do now is I can select a background color to show. So I'm actually going to use that blue color from my clients just to make sure that it's the same. So I can copy and paste that color code in there. If you click on the palette to the right as well, it will open up the full color picker, so you can choose any custom color that you like. That's fine. And then I'm just going to switch the text color to be white. You can also upload your own background images as well. And then I can save that slide. As I say, you can add as many of these as you like. And if you did want to include perhaps a PowerPoint slide deck or some Google Slides, if your clients have any kind of charts or other content that you normally email them separately, you can just click on Add a Slide and click on the Import option, and you can just add those slides to your CoverageBook report as well. So you can just share it in one link. Now, once you are happy that your report is ready, you've got everything organized, all of the colors set out and everything like that, you're ready to share, which is great. The final thing to mention is making templates. And if you tend to use the same report formatting for your clients, perhaps every month, once you've spent time adding logos, background colors, choosing accent colors, perhaps organizing your sections and your metrics, all you need to do is just click on the 3 dots below and to the right of the book, click on copy, and you can now copy this book as a blank template. And this is a really nice feature. So every time that you want to create a new report for your clients, you can just make a template of it and we will pull through all of those formatting and slides and sections and everything, all of the metrics preferences and accent colors. They're all ready to go for you. So it's a really good way of creating templates that you can use time and time again. So hopefully those hints and tips will help save you a bunch of time when you're creating and sharing reports. I think that's pretty much everything from me. Did we have any questions?
Thank you very much, David. I think we had a few, but I think Will has been answering them as we've gone through. One question I did see pop up, which was, is there any way to see greater customization, i.e. moving elements on the cover around how we wish? As Will mentioned, that's not something we are looking into at the moment, but a workaround could actually be that you open your report and use the custom slide setting here. So with that, you can either choose the layouts that David mentioned, or as he highlighted, you can import your own slides. So you could always make your own front cover outside CoverageBook, add it as a slide, add that, move that to the top and delete our front cover. So it can be as customized as you like from that point of view. So hopefully that was helpful. We've got some questions coming in now that I can see. Could you quickly cover how to turn a CoverageBook into a template again, please, David?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
hidden, that one, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah. So all you need to do is if you click on any existing report that you have made and you're happy with how it's finished. So for example, this one here, all you need to do is from the main books page, just click on the three dots below and to the right of the book, and you will have lots of different options. If you scroll down to the middle, there's the copy option, and then from here you can either make an exact copy with all of the coverage in it, or you can make a copy as a template. Just also to mention, actually, if you do want to make a copy, a duplicate report with all of your coverage in it, you can reuse existing coverage as many times as you like, and that won't count towards your monthly usage limits. So once you've imported a clip, you can reuse it in as many reports as you like. That's fine.
That's a good point there. Thank you, David. Bernie is asking if we can edit the media logos on the cover page. Again, that's not editable at the moment, but you can use the workaround that I mentioned before. Sophie is saying thank you very much. That was a very useful session. I'll leave the chat on for a few more minutes in case there's any more questions to come through. And while they're doing that, I've just got one final piece of news, as it was, I guess. I'm offering just a few one-to-one sort of workshops related to this on sort of helping you guys get the most of your books. It'll be on a sort of first come, first serve basis. So if you want to chat with me about your book and get me to have a look, and we can have a look at your objectives and see if we're making the most of it, and if there's anything I can suggest, I'm more than happy to help. You can email me at laurajoint@coveragebook.com. I'll send that email in the follow-up email as well. So yeah, just let me know if you'd like some help with that, and I'll be more than happy to help. Ruby says thank you. We've also been asked, when a change is made to a media section, the change doesn't show up until you click on overview and come back to the section. Why so? I think you might need to email in to support@coveragebook.com and show us what's happening there, and then we can help you out more, because that seems quite specific.
Yeah, if you could maybe drop us a link to the book and email us, as Laura said, we can look at that, and we'll get back to you and we can have a look and see what's going on there.
Jennifer says thank you, this is amazing. That's always nice to hear, Jennifer. So yeah, if you have any more questions, email us, my email address that I just mentioned, or support@coveragebook.com. Hope you found this session useful, and yeah, I'll send you a follow-up email with everything you need. All right, thank you for joining us, everyone, and have a lovely rest of your day, evening, morning, wherever you are. See you later.
Thanks. Bye.